Biafrans. He was also welcomed by Biafrans when the Abazana president went to Sweden. So we are a lot closer than the outside world. No. And for understandable and strategic reasons, we are keeping it that way. So we are all one, and who knows, in the future, we may even become one nation. And IPOB, as I said earlier, is fighting for the liberation of everybody. There are people from Edo that want to be part of Biafra. You can't stop them. Anybody can join IPOB. Anybody can, including Hausa people that can join if they want. If you subscribe to our way of life, value system, live and let live, democracy, equality before the law, then you're a Biafran. So we are fighting for everybody. Thank you very much. Thank you. And okay. After you, please, can they give to that our mother? Yeah, she's been. I asked her to speak for a while. After you, then it's her, please.
Thank you. All the Biafran. Dr. Donald.
Another Dr. Kwabikon. My goodness.
I have an observation.
Go ahead, please.
Each time you pronounce something right in your face, some people dislodge what you say. I followed your broadcast. I listened to your broadcast in Israel. You said, let there be county by county. Let's establish county by county families. And they are all families should have their coordinators and everything. And right now, you just said that you can become a coordinator wherever you are. But we have a problem, sir.
Yeah, what is it?
The problem is, those of us that will start families are not recognized by the cabal or
no, we don't use that word.
Some clique or some people that arrogate to themselves some level of power or authority to dislodge the main focus of IPOB. They thereby exclude the majority and then walk in seclusion. Now, my point is this again. There is a problem right here in Maryland. And I remember in Atlanta, you appointed a national mobilizer who should be in charge of affairs of IPOB nationwide. To our surprise, you'll be amazed that this man has been sidelined and he cannot operate. And second of all, there is this idea from the national coordinator. I say things they are. I say things the way they are. I'm fearless. There is somebody in the name of the national coordinator who professed to somebody that if the zoo government gives him money, that he will take it, but then will not deliver what they want. This is a clue of the kind of people that are the helm of affairs in the United States of America. The movement of IPOB is stalled. You might not see it from England. We live here, we see it. There is no progress anywhere, sir. That's right. Sir, Deputy Uchemefo was here 2 years ago, last year, 2 years? 2 years.
Last year.
Yes. Last year. He tried to fix the situation in the name that everything was okay. He left. Things went back to square one. You even looked somebody in the face who accused somebody of stealing public funds and said, do you have any evidence that he stole money from the meeting, from the family? Yasu Mba. But to our surprise, to your surprise, the rumor still goes on that somebody stole somebody's money, group's money and everything. So this is the problem we have, sir. Please, I don't know how you're going to do it, but it would be nice if you fix this problem before you leave. We want to move forward, just like what my sister said. This is 21st century. We have capable men and women that can execute IPOB projects. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. Thank you. I want to answer very, very quickly, please. I appointed a national mobilization officer, and I want the whole world, because the world we are live to the whole world.
Yes.
Don't mind that you're just seeing only 2 computers here. The whole world, people are listening in Biafra and via FM. So everything you're doing here, the whole world is observing it, watching and listening attentively. There is a way that IPOB works. I have said here, go and become a coordinator wherever you live. But that doesn't mean that you are IPOB on your own, doing whatever you like. We all have a chain of command you have to respond to. That's how we operate. The National Mobilization Officer is not in charge of anything. All he does is open families and hand over to the state coordinator. And his job is done. And he should also be part of the national executive. In other words, he should be part and parcel of the running of IPOB in the United States of America. I have a flyer with me here that says East Coast. East Coast. I don't know where East Coast is, but I know I'm coming. I know Maryland. I know Massachusetts. I know Virginia. I know Washington. I know New York. I know New Jersey. Now, what we have done is to decentralize as much as possible. Every state in America, IPOB family is autonomous. So I recognize only states as it is right now. So New York is a state and run their own affairs, pay their dues direct to Germany. Same thing goes for New Jersey, for Washington, for DC area, for Maryland, and the rest of it. And I would very strongly suggest that our people who are in the East Coast should go back to the local families they have and be a part of it.
That's where we are.
Yeah? Now listen very carefully to me, please. There is no East Coast. Please, very, very important. All of you in the East Coast, if you are in Maryland, you report to the Maryland family. If you're in Virginia, you report to the Virginia family. And DC the same. Now, I do concede that it's something we don't do very well, which is to identify good ideas and raw talent and be able to nurture them and take that along. We are going to build something into the national structure of USA to recognize people who are willing and able to do or to execute projects that will add value to what we are doing.
Yes.
Do you understand me?
Yes.
So that ideas can be carried along and no one will be left behind. And I want all the coordinators listening across America and all over the world to try and be like me. I'm a very inclusive person. Anytime I come to do something, I start from a position that I don't know everything. I'm always learning. If they tell you I can learn something from a cartoon, Bugs Life, you won't believe it. But I was watching it with my little boy, and I learned something from there. I'm sure some people will say, how can I learn something from ordinary cartoon? But I learned something from it. we must be receptive to ideas and not feel threatened all the time. Somebody can bring a good idea, and we feel to ourselves, if we execute this very idea now and it becomes very popular and widely acceptable, they may take my position from me. That's what we think sometimes, and it shouldn't be that way. That is what we are going to do. We have Dr. Koro, who is Dr. Koro. I'm here, Koro, can be American, something American. He is our national coordinator. And you also know that sometimes I allow people to remain in their position because in the new Biafra, we would run a multi-party democracy. You may lose election this year, and the other party will have to be in power for about 4 to 5 years. I don't expect you to pack your things and run away from Biafra land because another person is in charge. I expect you to do all you can to support that administration and even bring your ideas to allow them to grow. So I expect everybody here to support what Dr. Koro is trying to do in IPOB. Give him advice, and he may not take it today. Tomorrow he will take it. That's the way it is. And another thing is this: as long as you're able to function and flourish in IPOB, your ideas taken on board, you shouldn't have any worries as to who your leadership is. Do you understand? Or else we'll become like any other Igbo organization, struggling all the time to pull down the leadership. As Doc said a while ago, when you criticize somebody 4 times, at least praise them once, so that when you talk to them, they can listen to you. That's what we're going to do. I repeat, please, I repeat very strongly. There is nothing like East Coast. I've seen this flyer. This thing, if you want to run any project involving all the states, Ezekwesili is there. You speak to the various coordinators and you say to them, can we all get together and do something? That's how it's supposed to be. And nobody will exclude anybody. No. Who is excluding you? Wait, hold on. Hold on a second. Hold on. You, hold on. Please listen to me. Which state do you belong to?
My name is Jesse Woke. I'm from Afara, and in State. I'm with the Maryland PG, Maryland.
That's what I want to hear. Maryland.
Yes.
Who is the coordinator for Maryland here? Who is the coordinator?
Can I tell you what you have like this too?
Hold on. Please, hold on a second. Hold on. No. I want the state coordinator. Hold on. Wait. I said wait. Hold on. I want us to understand how IPOB functions. If you are from Maryland, this is your coordinator. Hang on. Hey. Hold on. Are you listening to me?
Yes.
Now I want you to listen again very carefully. This is the Maryland coordinator. And you have no business as an